welcome to another episode of The Art Patient. I trust you're well, I trust you're healthy and keeping well. If you've just come out of hospital, look at all the other videos and start making adjustments to your diet, because your diet and your stress levels brought about the heart attack or the cardiac event. Directly related to stress and directly related to your diet and the way your body handles stress. Okay? Don't forget what you eat and what you drink and what you consume are all required to make chemicals to keep you out of trouble and keep you nice and healthy. Now, one of those chemicals I'm going to talk about today, and tomorrow I'm going to make it, so watch out for that video where I'm making it, is iodine. Now, there's quite a conspiracy about iodine over the years that's gone on, and a lot of people are not aware of the conspiracy. Okay, so here we go with another conspiracy theory regarding the pharmaceuticals, your rights and my rights to be healthy. Okay. In the early 1920s, iodine, Lugol's iodine, Lugol's, you'll hear that a lot, French guy who created it by binding it to potassium. Iodine has to be bound to potassium. Where's iodine used? In your thyroid gland. What happened to me? I had a thyroid tumour, so I had half my thyroid gland cut out. So I quickly started to, this was before my heart problem, right? What I didn't know is I had a major problem on its way, and I still never clicked. Now you know why I do so much studying. That's why I study so much, because I had a major problem on its way, bing, and I never knew it. A thyroid problem is always a sign of a major problem you're going to get it with, especially for ladies as well. Why ladies? Because you need thyroxine and you store more iodine and need more iodine than guys, because you have more glands, because you can reproduce. That's basically it. And you store iodine you should store iodine in your breast tissue. Anyway, where was we? I'll be making some iodine tomorrow. It used to be in the food supply back in the 1920s. Now, there was a lot of people healthy in those days and remaining healthy, and the pharmaceutical companies were just getting into business. And iodine, you need iodine to function the thyroid gland. The thyroid gland boosts your metabolism, so thyroxine, which the medical profession seem to hand out willy-nilly these days, actually increases your metabolism, cell metabolism. That's metabolism in all the cells. So you need thyroxine everywhere. Thyroxine will keep you warm. Thyroxine will repair your gut. One of the things that iodine does, right, in its raw form, is it binds to heavy metals. Now, here we go. At about the time they were trying to get rid of iodine, because like I said, it kept too many people healthy, and they had other drugs to replace it. And again, you come back to that, you can't patent nature, so they couldn't take a patent out on potassium and iodide crystals for a start. They couldn't take the patent out on them, so they came across with, it was the start of the antibiotics when they started to come in, and also because iodine has an antibiotic and antifungal effect on your body as well. Like I say, iodine as the raw constituent, has massive effects everywhere. It's such a go-to supplement. So I got into making my own iodine quite some time ago, and like I say, tomorrow I'll show you how I make it. It's quite simple to make, but you do require distilled water. We'll go into that when I make it, right? Because as I make it, I can't tell you all about the history of it and how it got took out the food supply. They replaced iodine in the bread supply in the 1930s. They replaced it with bromine. Now they're all halides. They're on the periodical table as halides, right? Chlorine, fluorine, bromine, iodine. They're all halides. The problem is this. The others, the bad guys, fluorine, chlorine in water, fluoride in water, and bromide, all jump on the iodine receptor site, okay? So you find yourself full of the bad guys, okay, heavy metals, and they all jump on the iodine receptor site because it's the same, they're all halides, see, so they're the same shape. Each cell in your body has by the red blood cells have receptor sites, and they have an effector site, I've talked about this before, that pulls hormones in, and the hormone locks onto a receptor site. It's like a children's puzzle, you know, everything fits in. Amazing, isn't it, the body? So these bad guys, chloride, fluoride, bromide, all jump on the iodine receptor site, and you don't get the iodine, so you can't make the thyroxine. So you become short on thyroxine, and your health takes a turn for the worse. Okay, now like they took it out the bread supply and they put bromide in, and then the nation started to get slightly worse and worse, and everybody was suffering from goiters, and the pharmaceutical industry replaced iodine supplementation with thyroxine. They used straight thyroxine, which puts thyroxine comes in a version of T3 and T4. Some people call it synthroid. There's quite a few versions of it. They've all got side effects. Everything has. It's a pharmaceutical. I warn you of the side effects. I keep warning you. Made videos on that. Anyway, going back to iodine. One of the beauties of iodine is, and it's December, we're a couple of weeks before Christmas, it's December, it's pretty cold, and I always like to do a detox. It's something I do personally, and I like to detox to pull those metals out, because you can bet your life you've got those poisons within you, guys. You don't realise how much fluoride in soft drinks, remember, as well as in tap water, and every drink of tea got fluoride in it. And then you got bromine in there as well. Bromine is in a lot of plastic chemicals as well. When they bottle water and the water goes in and the plastic is still warm, you'll have bromide when you drink that water, okay? You'll be surprised how much iodine will pull out of your system and detox you. So I always like to do a detox this time of year with iodine and top my iodine levels up. Plus it keeps me in with making it. Okay, one of the things that always baffled me until recently was the fact that the highest concentration of smokers on the planet is Japan. They have the highest concentration of people who smoke, but they have the lowest levels of lung cancer, and they have the lowest levels of other cancers, but they're the highest smokers per person. The reason for this is that iodine is also available in kelp and seaweeds. the Japanese are brought up on seaweeds and kelps. That's really interesting. So, iodine is cancer protective. Now, a pharmaceutical industry they're never going to tell you all this stuff. So, that's really interesting. I could never work that one out. But there you go. Iodine is cancer protective and it increases the apoptosis of cells. Apoptosis of cells is the cell's ability to die off naturally rather than not die and carry on growing and growing like it does in cancer. So iodine influences apoptosis within cells, which is their normal die-off rate. As you can imagine, if you're 65 trillion cells and you're exponentially 10 times that of bacteria, there's an enormous amount of construction going on every second of every day within your temple. That's about it really, guys. Iodine, absolutely. If you've had if you've had an heart related problem, hence the channel, if you've had an heart attack or you've had a cardiac arrest, you will be high in cortisol, which is an anti-inflammatory. Now, I've spoken about cortisol and the parasympathetics and the adrenals many times. Iodine will fix your stressed out adrenals. It will fix them. Okay? You must, when you have an heart attack, the reason cholesterol's there when you have an heart attack is not because cholesterol causes it. It's cholesterol's an anti-inflammatory. So you'll be high in cholesterol. That's why they catch you for a statin. See, that's the con. You'll be high in cholesterol. They'll tell you cholesterol give you an heart attack, which is utter crap. Children's science. Don't even entertain it. And they'll say, and you also, which they won't tell you, you'll be high in cortisol. Now, cortisol keeps you it's an anti-inflammatory, and it's great for that. And it'll also be released in times of need when you're in a fight or you're running from the local zoo, a lion, you know. But you get the picture. It's an adrenal hormone secreted when you're in stress. Now, if you're in stress for a long period of time, which a lot of people are these days, and don't realise it because you never have your cortisol levels measured, okay? When cortisol is up, thyroxine is down. When thyroxine's up with iodine, cortisol will come down, providing you get yourself out of that stress system. Now, I've talked about sympathetic and parasympathetic systems and the adrenals before. I don't want to get into that now because it's deep stuff, okay? And I wanted to talk about thyroxine and iodine. Like I say, iodine is such a it's an absolute must as a supplement. Like I say, if you're an heart patient, you should be using iodine.